Hi everyone, we're going to go ahead and start our English portion of our day. Today we're going to read a poem and then we're going to talk about it. So, I'm going to go ahead and read this to you guys. Dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. So can anyone tell me who wrote that poem? Nope. Okay. Do you know what that poem means? Okay. Describe how this poem makes you feel. Okay, so it looks like everybody's kind of on the same page, so we can go ahead and talk about who the writer is and what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about figurative language, specifically similes and metaphors, in Langston Hughes' poems, Dreams, which is the one I just read, and Harlem. This will be a continuation of our literature focus unit of famous American poets. Can anyone tell me what figurative language means? Anyone know what a simile is? Okay. And metaphor? And has anyone read anything by Langston Hughes? Maybe heard about him? No one? All right then. Langston Hughes, there's a picture of him right here. Langston Hughes is a famous American poet, socialist, novelist, playwright, and columnist, and is one of the first poets to ever use the jazz poetry form. He was born in 1901, died in 1967, and he was one of the original founders of the Harlem Renaissance. Now, his works include Dreams, which is the poem I read, Harlem, which is also called Dream Deferred, The Weary Blues, Mother to Son, Life is Fine. But today we're specifically just going to talk about Dreams and Harlem. So figurative language describes something in a creative way. Two of these ways are called similes and metaphors. They're used to compare things and create more interesting images for the reader. So when you use a simile, you're comparing two things and you're using signal words such as like or as. Now on this poster we have a couple of examples. So a simile could be busy as a bee, or sparkle like diamonds, hungry as a bear, or flat as a pancake, or hard as a rock. Mackenzie, can you think of a simile? Great. Rich, can you think of a simile?
Tough as nails.
Excellent, thank you. And Laura, can you think of a simile? Thank you. Okay, so metaphors, on the other hand, compare two things by saying they are the same thing. Metaphors do not have signal words, so you kind of have to figure it out just from what you're reading. It says, the sun was gleaming pearl. My baby brother is a cute little teddy bear. My sister's memory is a camera that remembers everything we see. The car seat is a fluffy cloud. Custard is happiness in a bowl. Can anyone give me examples of metaphors? How about Sydney? Can you give me an example of a metaphor? Okay, see, that's a simile. When you say hard as nails, like Richard said earlier, you're using the word as, which is a signal word. So you could say hard with the strength of nails to make it a metaphor. Okay, Connor, can you give me an example? Excellent, thank you. So what we're going to do today is I've handed out you guys a printout of the poems Dreams and Harlem by Langston Hughes. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first stanza of Dreams, and I want you guys to follow along. I'm going to be looking for signal words that tell me if it's a simile. I'm going to be looking for metaphors. So go ahead and listen as I read. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. So as I read this, I was looking to see if I see the word as or like. I didn't see those, so I don't think it's a simile. But I did see that it said, For if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. So I know this is a metaphor because it's comparing life to a broken winged bird. What Langston Hughes means when he says that is that a life without dreams is like a bird without wings. So the whole purpose of the bird is gone, and no longer can fly. It's what birds are meant to do. Just like dreams are meant for our life. So I'm going to go ahead and read the second stanza, and I want you guys to follow along. And I want you to hold up your signs that you have at your desks and tell me if you see a metaphor or simile. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field, frozen with snow. Did anyone see a metaphor or simile in this? Excellent. Rich, what part do you think is a metaphor?
Life is a barren field.
Excellent, thank you. Piper, did you see a metaphor or simile? Metaphor, thank you. So you agree with Rich. That's right. When dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Does anyone want to, well, how about Quentin? You want to tell me what you think that means? Do you want me to come back to you? Okay. All right, so how about Skylar? Do you want to tell me what you think it means? That's excellent. Skylar said that dreams, when they're gone, is like when the life is gone from a field. Everything is basically dead. So it's barren. So what I want you guys to do is read Harlem with a partner, and I want you to get 2 highlighters of different colors. And if you see a simile, I want you to highlight all the similes in the same color. If you see a metaphor, I want you to highlight all the metaphors in the same color. And then on the back, I want you to write 1 sentence, 1 or 2 sentences telling me what you think that simile or metaphor is trying to say. Okay, so you guys have 10 minutes to complete that, and you guys can work with your partners at a level 1 voice. Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and talk about what we just did. First, I'm going to go ahead and read the poem to you guys. And I want you to hold up your signs if you think you see a metaphor or if you see a simile. Harlem. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like raisins in the sun or fester like a sore? And then run, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Excellent. I see that some of you saw that a metaphor showed up at the end. That's kind of a little trick there at the end. I'm glad that many of you caught it. So as we read that, we noticed, does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? We know that like is a, that's right, signal word. So it's a simile. We know when it festers like a sore, that's also a simile because he uses the word like. Like rotten meat and like a syrupy sweet are also similes. And like a heavy load, that is also a simile. At the end we saw, or does it explode? That would be a metaphor. Can anyone tell me what they think that means? Richard? Do you think you know what that means? At the end of the poem it says, or does it explode? So,
I would say that's a metaphor.
Exactly, thank you. Okay, Sienna, do you think you know what that poem is trying to say? That's right, Sienna thinks that a dream deferred, which is a dream that you have for your life, a goal, a hope, can just disappear or die one day, or it can become huge and explode. It can be met, it can actually be met, the goal that is met. Thank you guys for participating today. We learned about similes and metaphors and their meanings. We looked at some of the Langston Hughes poems that we talked about today. Throughout the week, we're going to go ahead and continue our literature focus unit on American poets. I wanted to ask you guys a few questions. When Langston Hughes wrote these poems, do you guys think he meant to be figurative or literal when he said these things? Do you really think that dreams deferred fester like a sore? Rich?
think he meant to be extremely figurative
Thank
because it doesn't actually stink like rotten meat.
Thank you for it. Thank you for that. And do you ever use similes or metaphors in daily life? Zaire? Okay. So how about when we are trying to explain ourselves to our parents? We're trying to tell them, I burned my toast like the sun burns my face if I stand outside too long. That's a good simile you could use to explain to your parents why you might have burned the kitchen down. So how about, can you think of an example where a simile or a metaphor might make your life a little bit easier? Rich?
I don't understand still
Okay, sorry.
what you mean by that.
Okay, so imagine if you're going to the doctor and you're trying to explain to him how something hurts. Could you say, my foot has been feeling like pins and needles, to explain how the feeling is? Do you think there's anything you could use in metaphor or simile to make your life a little easier?
There's an elephant upon my chest.
Okay. Does that mean, what does that mean to you?
I'm having a heart attack.
Oh, okay. Very literal right there. Thank you. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and continue this tomorrow. Thank you all for participating. Ta-da!